This is a big and important task. Our job here is to create the whole MVC structure for a gig so that user can update or create a gig. Now first, we're going to analyze what are the objects that we need and the relationship between those and the gig object in our scenario. Now looking at the screenshot here, first we got categories and then we got the gig itself with the title, the video, and maybe the photos and the description. And along with that, we should have the pricing and we have the user object. Alright, so for the gig itself, like I say, we need to know which category it belongs to. So that means we need to create the category objects presenting the different categories. Now first, we also need to know who create the gig, right? That's why we have a user here. So we need to link a gig to a specific user. A gig belongs to one user, and one user can have many gigs. So that's why we come up with this data structure. So this is a gig table. We got title, we got video, and we got active, true or false, and we got head single price. I'm gonna talking about this in a bit. And along with us, we got a user ID and category ID. Right. So based on here, we know the gig belong to who and belong to which category. Next up for the pricing. Now a gig could have either one price only or three different prices. Let me show you. All right, it could be basic package or standards or premium ones. The interesting thing here is that different prices have their own types, description, the price, and the day to deliver. All right, so that's make me think that it would be great to create a pricing object, right, and that link to a certain gig. So that's why we come up with the database structure like this. This is a pricing table. Now the pricing table will have the title like basic, medium, advanced. It's up to you, and the description is pricing. The deliver time like 10 days, 7 days, or 3 days. The price $5, $10, and the pricing type is 0, 1, or 2, which is presenting this option. So 0 for basic, 1 for standard, and 2 for premium. All right, and then all of those link to a specific gig. So just like I highlight with the color here. So for the first one, it's got 3 different price. All right, and for the second one, it got 3 different price. Now here we come up with the hash single pricing property. What that means? So if this one say 2, does that mean you have only one pricing, right? So for example, this one have only one pricing. If it say false, so that means it's going to come up with 3 different prices. Simple as that. So now you get an idea of what we're going to do and how we structure our relationships between different objects. Let's go back to our project, and inside the terminal, I'm going to type Rails generate model category, and we just create a new property name. All right, and we say no test framework. All right, hit enter, because we don't want it to generate the test framework for us, test unit. So we just say no test framework. All right, we just create a new migration file. Next up, we're going to create Rails generate model for gig, and we're going to put title, the video active is going to be boolean, and head single price is going to be boolean as well. Let's say head single pricing, and then we got user is references, right, and category references as well. And again we say no test framework. All right, hit enter. Cool. And the last one is Rails generate model pricing. We got a title, we got the description, which is text, and we got delivery time. It would be integer. So it's going to presenting 10 days or 7 days, things like that. And for the price, now to keep it simple, I'm going to put it integer. all right, rather than put it in float. Pricing type, we say integer, and for the gig, we're going to say references, and again, no test framework. All right, hit enter. Okay, now here we're going to install our action text as well. So I'm gonna say Rails action underscore text colon install. Hit enter. Now notice here Rails want to create a new table in the database just like action storage, but this time it's for text. And we're going to use that to store our gig description because our description contains rich text features just like style, images, etc. Now before you run the migrate database, I want you to go to db migrate, and let's open the one that you create gigs. All right, and we're going to set the active, the default value we set to false, and the single price default false. Okay, and let's go back to terminal, and we're going to say Rails db migrate. Now let's open our database and let's go freelancer developer, hit refresh, and here we go. So now we got categories, we got a gig table, yeah, and pricing, and also we have the action text rich text table, right, just created for us because we just installed the active text, sorry. All right, so next up we're going to work on the model. So let's first open F models, and we're going to open the gig first. So inside here, I'm gonna type first, this one has many pricings. All right, make sure that you have an S at the end, and also here we say you has many attached photos and has rich text, which is description. All right, and also last one, we're gonna say accepts nested attributes for pricings. All right, and lastly, we just put it validate for the title, and we're gonna present need to be true. Oh no, we can say message here cannot be blank. All right, you can do that, it's that way. Okay, so three things happening here. Now first, you say has many attached photo. You might ask me where do you store the gig, and again the question is active storage. All right, we already done that before. When you create a user model, you got the attached, right, avatar, right? It's the same thing. Now for the new thing here is the head rich text description. This comes from the active state that we just added. So in later state, you will see the description appear inside this table. All right, so it's going to be named description, just like what we define here, and the body, which is the content of that description, and the record type is going to be gig. All right, and it's going to reference to the gig ID, and it's going to put it here. Now for the accept nested attribute pricing, what is that, and why do we need this? Now the nested attributes allow you to save attributes on the associated records through the parents. Now what I mean by that, in later state, you're going to submit information for a gig. So here is a gig, all right? On the red circle, you got a title, you submit the category, the value of having a pricing, description, video, etc. And also with this setup, you're gonna update you're going to upload the pricing attribute as well. And along with that, it's going to give you the structure just like this. So the pricing attribute nested inside the gig. So once you submit the information structure like this, Rails will create the gig, and also it's going to create the pricing data into the pricing table. All right, that's what we need to set this up. Next, we're going to open our model categories, and we're going to say this one has many gigs. All right, save. And next one for the user, we're going to say user has many gigs. And lastly, for pricing, here we just create the enum. All right, we're going to say pricing type. It's going to be, we're going to set maybe basic, standard, and premium. All right, so we're going to set 3 types for the pricing type. It's anything you can name it. It's just a name for a variable. So you can name it to maybe package 1, package 2, package 3. All right, so we're done with all the model, and that's the very first step. Next up, we're going to work on the controller.